Welcome back to episode 115 of the Disorganized Club Podcast. My name is Alex. I'm here as always with Adam.
Hello.
And Cam.
Hey.
And we're a group of Ottawa-based players, plays just about anything and everything we can qualify for. Talk about decks, tournament stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, DWC After Dark.
Oh, another late night episode after a extremely busy week for the squad. Cam is running on no sleep.
I was up at 2 a.m. to catch a flight from Newfoundland, the easternmost city of Canada, to Montreal, and then a flight from there to Ottawa. Then I had like a couple hours to, I don't really remember what I did. I think I went home.
You were at home chilling for a bit.
Oh, yeah, because so at that point, it feels like it's mid-afternoon for me because I've been up for so long. But the grocery store is just opening, so I get myself some breakfast cabbage rolls.
Yeah, I was going to say you eat cabbage rolls, yeah.
Yeah.
Breakfast cabbage rolls.
I sit around for a couple hours, and then there's another conference in Ottawa I have to go to for like 3 hours. So I go do that, and now I'm here.
Long day.
Yeah.
Multiple provinces visited in a single day.
Newfoundland was sweet, though.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had cod tongues?
No.
Yes. Very good.
They're pretty
What
good.
are they?
Very
They're
what
literally
would you
the
expect?
tongue from cod.
It's like, it's not their actual tongue. It's like this.
Their gullet.
The listeners can't see me
Pointing
pointing to my face, but it's this piece.
Oh, I don't know what that's called. Yeah, but okay.
And it's like
But they
deep fried.
Yeah, they batter it and fry it.
Yeah. It's really, really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just little pieces, little like bites.
Yeah.
Kind of like popcorn chicken, but not chicken.
Yeah, they're just like
Yeah.
fish nuggets,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, they're good.
Those are pretty good. And I had a moose burger.
Yeah, there's a bajillion moose in Newfoundland. They were introduced there and
Yeah,
they just overrun the
accidentally.
place. So there's tons of hunting and
They're
stuff.
a fan of moose meat.
Yeah, moose meat's really good.
Yeah. Newfoundland is sweet. I've only been once.
I've
Long
never
time
been there
ago.
actually.
Yeah.
I've only
Yeah,
the
it's really
furthest
nice.
I've been is Nova Scotia or whatever. When I was there,
Mhm.
when I was taking time off the podcast that summer,
Yeah.
living.
Living out in the wilderness.
Yeah, dude, living in the wilderness. Back when I was a wild boy.
Yeah. So this set comes out tomorrow. Ravnica Allegiance drops tomorrow. It's Friday night, the 25th.
Oh yeah,
I keep
in my
forgetting
head,
it's not out yet because it's been
it's
out on
just
Arena.
been out,
Yeah.
and I've just been jamming it. Like people in paper, I'm like, I'm so sorry for you. I guess like
Yeah.
I've just been playing nonstop.
Yeah. And what are your initial thoughts?
The limited format is amazing.
I've been enjoying it.
A lot better than Guilds.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
not close. I discussed this on the pre-show, but because Cam and I had this discussion that one of the problems was in guilds the best decks were just really snowbally. That mentor just rewards you for attacking, and then if you're on the back foot, you can never come back because they keep getting bigger and bigger. Same thing with like Thoughtbound Phantasm, Demir Spybug, the survival creatures. They just snowball and you just kind of lose.
Yeah.
And it just felt miserable. Even Celestia snowballed by convoking. It was just a snowball-based format. Whereas this format feels it's slowed down a bit, and it's based more on late-game mana sinks and things you do like that. So,
Do you think Guilds of Ravnica would have still had that problem if it was a summer set?
yeah, that's the problem. It was released in the fall. Winter was coming, and
Yeah, then it snowballed.
yeah, exactly. It got out of control. Just an avalanche of me casting turn one healer hawks. That's all it was. Don't get me wrong. I played the hell out of that format because I was just trying to grind out free value on Arena. So I was just, hitting people up for their loot with these healer hawks.
It was like,
yeah,
it was fun in that it was like a slightly more race-oriented limited format. The combat math is slightly different because of this.
yeah.
You weren't like just looking to outvalue your opponent. You were looking to, just win the race, like chump block strategically sometimes.
Yeah, obviously, this format, you can still be really aggressive, and that's good. That should always be an option, but it doesn't feel like it's a snowball thing where you just lose because, they meant I don't know. Yeah, this format, it seems really fun so far. Standard, who knows with Moto? There's not even decks on MTG Goldfish or anything. It's just like Arena and Moto, but you don't know what's even being played.
Well, they've done 2 deck dumps so far.
Yeah.
Two drops of the 5-0 list. So we kind of have an idea.
Well, yeah. You remember the beginning format last time?
Yeah.
There were like vampire decks 5-0
Yeah.
in the first weeks. Like the decks that 5-0 in the first weeks are just not.
Yeah.
It's
But
wild.
there is SCG Indy this weekend, which is standard. So we'll really get to see.
See, I really like that. I'm glad that SCG's kind of returned to that, because marketing wise, I think that they had been just doing modern because it was
So what people wanted.
yeah. But then the most recent standard event, there was a a standard GP at the end of last season, sometime, November. I can't remember what it was, maybe Jersey.
No, Jersey's this weekend.
Oh, this weekend. No, there was also one in Jersey, though, at the end of...
I don't know.
I can't remember. Anyway, it was sometime around then.
Mm-hmm.
There was a standard tournament, and I remember turning on Twitch, and SCG had like 2,000 viewers, and it was a modern event, and the standard event had like 14,000 viewers. So, and that is not what was happening previously.
No.
Previously, no one would watch standard, and modern was all people watch. So, kind of cool to see standard making a comeback. As
Finally,
far as, because standard was awesome last season. I heard some people say they didn't think it was great, but those people are crazy.
Yeah,
you could actually just play whatever you want.
Yep, standard was good,
and now you can truly play whatever you want.
You can play more than whatever you want.
You can play all the things.
Yeah. But before we jump into more Ravnica Allegiance, we have to talk about
Oh, yeah, speaking of modern,
because Crack Clan Ironworks banned. We
KCI.
talked about this. We talked about this last week, whether we thought it was going to happen. And I can't remember where you landed. Did you land where it was probably just needed more time?
I said I would wait, but I wouldn't be surprised, I think, if it was banned. I think that's what I said. I tried to take a
Sounds
somewhat
familiar.
balance. I think you said you would ban it. I'm pretty sure. You said, I think, you were like, at this point, like 4 copies in the top 8 is too much. Like, that doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
I think I made the comparison that it was starting to fall in line to what we were seeing with like Splinter Twin and Birthing Pod. So it might have been time.
Yeah, and I think that's why I said, I could see, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I thought they might give it 1 or 2 more chances. But nah, they just decided to drop the hammer.
Gone. Thoughts? Good idea?
Good.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
See you later.
See ya. See ya.
I'm going to watch as much modern as I did.
I actually like watching modern, like, because I like just watch all, you know what I mean? Like watching all formats.
Mm-hmm.
But man, good riddance, because I did not like watching that deck.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm pretty sure they banned it because of that. And good. I don't care.
It's definitely something they consider.
It had, did you read their article on the reasons why?
Yeah, briefly skimmed it, but I was kind of like, I was so busy this week that I was sort of like walking to campus, reading it on my phone because it was linked in a group chat. You know what I mean? Like just half reading it.
From what I can remember, they talked on like how the consistent, like very good results it's been putting up. And then they mentioned how it has like an absurdly favored game 1.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the exact point they made, but it was one of the reasons that they factored in.
That it's boring to watch?
I can't remember if they actually said.
I don't think they like saying that.
It was definitely there was a point about new players, I think.
Yeah, that's their
alienating.
That's their euphemism.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's alienating for old players, like seasoned, invested players too. It's like miserable to watch.
Yeah, I can definitely see how. Like, I didn't watch enough modern to have gotten tired of it because it was just kind of like. I was watching modern like right at the peak of like KCI's power, so I got to see like the novelty of it for like a couple matches, then I didn't watch anymore. But even those matches were already repetitive.
Oh, they're just miserable. There's just nothing interesting. Yeah.
But now we have GP Toronto in 2 weeks, where we'll be modern.
Yeah, DWC going to GP Toronto, all 3 of us.
Yeah.
It's in 2 weeks.
The squad, yeah.
I know, it's like a month away.
I know, it's just immediate.
2 weeks.
Like, if in my head, it's the same thing. And then Alex messaged us like on the chat, like, we got to figure this out. And I was like, why? It's like a month away. And then I checked the date. I was like, wait, it's in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Can't wait. Not going to change my deck choice. Still sleeving up Karn and the boys. But
yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
You're just going to grind limited, set up a farm, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was in 2 weeks, so I guess I should see if I can go.
Yeah. Why?
I kept committing and never checking my schedule because it kept being more than a month away, but now it's not.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you can go.
Yeah, probably.
Just do homework on the ride.
Okay.
I don't know. What are you worried about?
We'll figure it out.
I'm worried about I don't know what my schedule is, and you guys have committed me to something.
Man, you've had so much notice. We committed to this months
I
ago.
just explained how I didn't heed the notice.
That's on you.
Yeah.
Get in the van.
I'm not saying it's not on me.
Get and lose. Or go ahead.
yeah. Get in the car, loser. We're going to Magic Fest Toronto.
Man, Magic Fest New Jersey sold out this weekend, eh? You see that?
Yeah. People
Wow.
turned away. Jacob, a friend of ours, he drove there
Did he?
and tried to sign up this morning.
Oh, no.
I shouldn't laugh, man. It's
rough.
actually so tragic. He drove like 9 hours.
I can't fathom not signing up for the event before leaving my home to go all the way there.
Yeah, it's nuts. I have done that actually to a couple GPs before they ever really sold out. And I just did it on my phone on the way.
I remember.
I definitely have done that. I think I did it in your car on the way to Toronto.
I'm trying to. It wasn't Toronto. We
Or
were going to
maybe
the
Montreal.
States somewhere. And I remember, I think it was it you and Ben were like frantically trying to register on your phones
Yeah.
for a GP because we were worried it was going to sell out. I can't remember what event
I'm trying
it
to
was.
remember which event it was, but yes,
Yeah.
this happened.
And I was just laughing because I
you
pre-regged
guys-
like a month before.
Y'all are dumb. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got it though. But no, sold out, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
You know, you like to see it. Magic Fest Toronto should be good. I still
And people were so worried because they announced all the changes to Grand Prix. We're like, oh, what's the point of going to Grand Prix anymore? Blah, blah, blah. It turns out like
hey man, sold out.
maybe it doesn't matter. I mean, it is the first event. So
I think part of it is also probably arena.
yeah,
Honestly,
of course.
look at locally, like, you know, you go play locally and there's a bunch of new players,
Mhm.
you know, just fired up.
Yeah. There were a lot of new players at pre-release.
Yeah, we get
they're
messages.
packed
I get
as always.
we've gotten messages from newer players, you know, like Brian like messaged us like
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you'd love to see it. It's really sweet.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
So, as far as new players in Modern, good.
Yeah.
Good riddance to KCI, man. That deck sucks.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have combo decks in the format, but not like that. It's too good.
Mm-hmm.
Not one that wins 90% of game ones. And then it's
Agreed.
just a crapshoot for game two.
Agree. Moving on. Back to Ravnica. It's
All
what
right.
the people want to hear.
Yeah.
Modern sucks. Let's go.
Yeah, people love Modern.
We were on the topic of paper pre-releases. You didn't play any of
Yeah.
them.
I stayed home and just jammed on pre-releases on Arena. Yeah. Leaving the house is pretty hard to get.
Saving
me
the
there.
trees.
Yeah. I'm just trying to go green.
Yeah. Eco-conscious.
I'm just an eco-friendly gamer.
Man, I did 2 paper pre-releases, and I opened 3 Rampage of the Clans, 2 of which were foil. It was my promo and my Gruul event, the first one, like right on. Didn't open any playable rares, so I played a 0 rare red-green deck. Didn't matter. 4-0'd, easy,
Do you have Rhythm of the Wild?
of course.
Oh, okay, well. So you had a mythic.
Yeah. Card's absurd.
In limited, that card is
Yeah.
obscene.
Yeah. Didn't need rares.
In standard, I'm not sure it's actually a main board material, but I think it's an incredible sideboard card.
Yeah, it turns out when all your big fatties just either have a counter or have haste, that they're they're 10 times better than they
Yeah, big
are
facts.
regularly.
It's what do we want?
Yeah, and
More
I was
stats.
I was really good at drawing that card.
What do we
to
want
play
it
it on.
possibly haste?
I had it on turn 3 an absurd amount of times that event, so it was kind of smooth sailing.
Skill game.
Yeah.
But then I played Orzhov for the second one, and again, I didn't open any playable rares, so I had to play a deck with 0 good rares in it. But I didn't really have any good. The uncommons and commons in those colors were just not good enough to hold their
I
own.
don't think in sealed you often will get it with Orzhov. So I think Orzhov in sealed is not great.
Mhm.
But I think in draft it's quite strong.
I agree.
I think the drop off in power level between it as an archetype and sealed and draft is insane.
Mhm.
It's got to be the biggest sort of
Yeah,
disparity.
At the end of playing paper pre-releases, that was my prediction, is that like Orzhov would be the biggest gap in its power level between
Yeah.
the 2 limited formats.
I remember you saying this. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I wholeheartedly agree.
yeah, because like it kind of lives and dies by its uncommons, which, you know, you can get enough in a draft because you're picking uncommons from 24 packs. But in sealed, you get 6. And like
Math
you just,
checks out.
Yeah, you just don't.
Yeah. It's, and you can you need specific things in the Orzhov deck. Like the green decks, you can just
Any common creature in green is
just
big.
jam
and
those
you're
big
good.
bad,
Yeah.
big bad
Yeah.
fatties and get them in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that tough. But the Orzhov deck, you need the right pieces, and there are certain.
Well, it's actually, since we're talking about green creatures, it's that green commons trump Orzhov commons.
Yeah.
But Orzhov uncommons trade with the green commons and leave like a spirit. And that's how Orzhov beats those decks.
Yep.
Mhm.
So you need like an uncommon for each one of their commons.
Yeah. You just never beaten teamer decks though.
Yeah,
No
I mean,
deck beating rug decks.
They're really good.
Yeah, rug decks
Yeah.
and sealed. Woof.
Yeah.
I found that red, green, X decks were very good for me. Specifically they were in the color pairing of, secondary color pairing for the set. So if you get to splash the old crab or, it just feels insane.
Yeah.
I ended up playing
even Simic splashing red, whatever.
Yeah. To the surprise of no one, Adapt and Riot played very well together.
Yeah.
Synergy pretty
would
well.
have thought? It's called synergy.
Yeah. It's just great design, guys.
I ended up playing 3 paper pre-releases, midnight Saturday, 9, and then 2 on Saturday because I had to fly Sunday. And I think my records were the same as pre-release last Saturday.
They were.
Where it was 4:00 midnight, 3:19, 2:02, 2 p.m. as my wits left.
Yeah.
Just decrease in win percentage.
Yeah. The last deck, whatever, 2-2. I chose Azorius, and again, it was like a weak sealed choice.
No one wanted to pick Azorius.
Yeah.
It was like the only guild that was left over.
The deck was just not good. I had to scramble to try and make anything, and it didn't work out. But the previous 2 decks had green cards in them, so they were pretty good.
Yeah, it's tough to build Azorius. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't really blown away by it. They have a lot of flyers, which like a lot of flyers, some unblockable creatures that are annoying to deal with, but I know.
I think you do that if you want to Esper people. Basically, you go blue, white, splashing black, or green or red. You have to splash, I think. And you want to splash one of the guild colors, so it's kind of awkward. Yeah. But I think Azorius kind of has to splash for power. You know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of be greedy.
Yeah.
In my experience.
What's its game plan otherwise? The addendum mechanic, the good addendum spells lead you to try and play some like tempo flyer game. But your flyers aren't that big.
Yeah.
And
That's what I mean. If you splash, I think like you use you play control, like you play Esper control, I think is the way you play it. You play the draw 2, gain 2 main phase. Like, if you can pick an Orzhov Enforcer, it's black, you're playing Esper and you can just block, like you have Afterlife guys and then card draw. And that's sort of how you win. You just stall out the game with dirtily dumb creatures and drawing cards. Yeah. I think that's kind of how Azorius has to play because they do have one of the best removal spells in the entire format. In
Law Mage's Binding?
Yeah, Law Mage's Binding.
That's really good.
The
3 to a tap thing or 5 to a tap thing is also really strong.
Yeah. Summary Dismissal.
Yeah.
Is that its name?
Yeah.
Summary Judgment?
Something like that. Which is funny because that card in other formats kind of sucked, but in this format it's pretty good.
Lines up well.
Yeah.
And the modal option is nice too.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like the 2-mana destroy a tap creature from what's it called? M19.
It was a sorcery only though, right?
Yeah.
Summary Judgment. Had it right the first time.
Summary Judgment.
Yeah, being an instant's a huge difference, but also that set that had the destroy a tap creature had a million vigilance guys.
I remember that too. I remember playing pre-release and I had 2 of them in my deck. The destroy a tap creature. I was like, this is crazy. Any tap creature, they're going to attack me. And they did attack me, but then their creatures tapped.
They were all, that's what I'm saying. Everything in that dumb format had vigilance. So your card's just useless. So Summary Judgment actually very, very good. Yeah. No, like the Azorius I think you have to play control. Like you're drafting a control deck.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
But because the creatures for it, the kind of flyers, they suck. Like the common flyers and stuff, they suck.
Isn't the format of Scry as a...
Yeah.
That card's good. Yeah. But that card, the problem is like every blue or white deck is going to take that card.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Griffin. Are you talking about the Griffin?
Yeah.
Yeah, but every like Orzhov deck will play that card.
Yeah.
That card's so good that
you're not going to get them.
You mean like the 2-mana 1/3?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Sucks,
and the 3-mana 1/4. Like those cards are so bad.
Anything that's only like so Azorius has all these seeded cards, which are clearly like the high alert build around commons. Don't do it.
It's a trap.
The commons can't hold their own when you don't draw high alert.
Yeah, if you don't draw high alert, you have to have 2 high alerts.
Yeah, if you have 2, maybe go for it.
And even then, if you don't draw one, you're going to lose.
Yeah, don't even go for it then. I rescind my advice.
Yeah,
too risky.
It's super risky.
Like, so if you're playing this sort of control game and you're using high alert as a card that turns the corner for creatures that are already acceptable, if, as like Adam was saying, you're playing Esper and you've got a lot of 3/7 crocodiles.
Oh yeah.
Drawing your high alert can be like your all right, now I'm going to kill you card.
Or one of the cards that we singled out as a really overperformer, the Azorius 2/5. that has
Yes.
vigilance and can't be blocked.
Azorius Knight Arbiter.
Because that card will kill you with
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
alert.
Because it's also
Although-
fine if you don't have high alert.
kind of
but
a
then
non-bow because it doesn't untap our guy because he has vigilance.
yeah. But like, don't play bad cards just because they're good if you have high alert.
Yeah.
Play good cards that get better if you have high alert, if you want to.
if you
Yeah.
insist on playing high alert.
Mhm.
But no, I think Azorius like wants to pair with someone else, and you still have to like really play it control-y, really card advantage. Like you are just trying to grind them, draw cards. You just want to draw cards.
Yeah, like my midnight deck was Bant. Which was
Bant's
like
good.
blue-green base with Azorius Knight Arbiter and like the 4 mana draw 2 gain 2 if you're on main phase, like, and a couple white cards
that card
supporting.
was pretty
like a
strong.
supporting cast. Yeah,
In limited, the 4 mana draw 2 gain 2
it is.
did make our list, but
Yeah, well, our list is overperformers. That one is about as expected.
yeah, it does what it. Okay, yeah, it does.
It does what it says.
So yeah, you're playing band. Sorry.
Yeah, I had a crisis, which is pretty good in Azorius.
In your control strategy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that'll do it.
But yeah, so we've been kind of referencing at this list. We kind of listed out some commons and uncommons that overperformed
Yeah, like we
from our experience
This
so
is
far.
our
in the
limited hot
format.
take.
We didn't
Yeah.
put like Law Mage's binding and stuff on there. Like obvious, like Skewer the Critics is like not a comment on our list because yobs.
Yeah.
It-
Turns out Lightning Bolt is good. Who would
Yeah,
have thought?
it performed.
Did you guys know? This does 3 damage to anything for 1 mana? That's nuts. Like you don't want to hear us say that.
Yeah.
I played against a guy at pre-release who like attacked me, got in for 1, and then like I was at like 15, and he's like, "All right, like I can cast this for 1 now, right? Like 3 to you." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's any target though. Like you can also kill my creatures." And he's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, but I already said just your face."
You know what?
Gotta let them know.
And
I
like,
respect the hell out
Face
of
is
that
the
guy.
place,
Yeah.
man.
And then afterwards, he's like, "Do you got any tips?" I'm like, "It's like usually better to kill your opponent's creatures, but like
Phil Sam's just listening to this right now with the
Yeah.
biggest smile on
Respect
his
for
face. He's like,
trying.
give that guy. He's like, give that guy the $10 million. It's over.
he's the chosen one."
Yeah. But yeah, as far as the sort of blue-white cards, you know, yeah, Azorius Knight Arbiter is one of the ones that you'll play regardless of having
Yeah.
high alert or not. That card's just good.
Yeah.
Blocks everything, just gets
5
in there
mana,
every turn.
2/5. Yeah, 5 mana, 2/5. It just blocks and, vigilance unblockable. Pretty good keywords to get together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good keyword combination.
Super annoying to get through. And a lot of games that I saw it or had it play out, like kind of life totals get a little low. Maybe opponents around like 8 or something. You just play it and then all of a sudden, like it has to get answered because it's just going to sit there or stall the board more, but you're still getting in. You're still chipping in for damage, every turn. And you're not giving your opponent, the blocker's advantage of having to swing out and then they can kind of align profitable blocks and then get you on the backswing. You just can keep chipping in with the walls up.
Yeah.
And pretty good.
Yeah, big fan.
Another blue card, Chillbringer. 5 mana, 3/3, tap a creature when it enters play. It doesn't untap during your opponent's next untap step.
And it has flying.
Yeah.
It's
For a
just
common, and it's single blue.
Yeah.
Like this is an easily splashable card.
I played a Gruul deck.
Splashing
That-
Chillbringers.
Yeah, splashing 2 Chillbringers,
Nice.
just getting these 4/4s in.
Right. Like that's really good.
Yeah, it was nuts. And then they eventually like put like something in the way in the ground, and then the Chillbringer hits them for 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, no, that card's one of the top tier commons. It's incredible. Unless there's just a insane, uncommon or rare in the pack, I think you take this card a lot of the times.
Yeah, like you're usually not playing. Like, how many 5-drops would you play in a limited deck? 4, 5?
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah. So like
Maybe 6 if I'm getting crazy.
there are a few other 5-drops that like will take a slot over this. Like
Yeah.
Trollbred Guardian might, maybe some Grasping Thralls, but like this is up there.
This is up there with Grasping Thrall,
Yeah.
a card that is just very obviously good in the Orzhov decks, just good in general. The thing with Chillbringer, there's like Grasping Thrall isn't really on our list, is it? Because it's sort of
It just
yeah,
does what
no,
it says.
it does what it says, and it's obviously like a really
Yeah.
good common. A 5 mana 3/3 flyer that drains 2 is just really good for a common. That's a lot of
Yeah,
stats on a
good.
common. But Chillbringer, it like the Thrall costs black white.
Mhm.
Chillbringer just being single blue, Like that it's not double blue is insane. I think that's what surprises me as a common, that it's not double blue.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's kind of odd.
Right? Like it just seems so powerful to just be single blue because it's so splashable in a format with gates, and you can sort of get away with playing it in a bunch of decks. You know, Cam's saying, oh, I played a girl deck where I just splashed 2. Right? That's how good it is. Yeah, card really overperforms for every time I see it.
And it has like a ton of play to it. Like if you want to get in, like if you're trying to be aggressive, it does that. If you're trying to stall out for whatever reason, it does that. Like it's good alongside green creatures and it's good alongside Ill-Gotten Inheritance.
Yeah. Another card, actually.
On the list, yeah.
Another card.
Yeah, Ill-Gotten Inheritance is a weird one because
on its face?
Yeah, you just kind of read it like 5 mana. Just
It's 4.
It's 4.
4 mana?
Yeah. 6 to activate.
It's 4 mana?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. 4 mana?
Even at 4 mana, I'm like, that's trash. Like if I was reading spoilers and I read that, I'd be like, this trash. Like on its face, like if you're just taking it out of context, you know what I mean? In a vacuum, card's so bad.
What was that card from Hour of Devastation?
Torment
of Scarabs.
Yes.
That card,
Yeah, you lost to it when this snowballed, and
Yeah.
most of the times it was like not that great.
yeah, it was pretty much ineffectual. And kind of, I read this card and that's what I
Same.
immediately
Yeah.
thought of. And I was like, that card was mediocre. I saw a lot of people play it a lot more than I thought they should.
Agreed.
That was my reaction too.
Agreed.
And then an Orzhov deck played it against me, and I realized I couldn't get through the spirits fast enough, and then it was threatening my life total.
Yep.
And I was like, is this actually happening?
Yeah.
Like, why am I losing to this card?
Yeah.
So this is why I say, like, out of context in a vacuum, you're like, this card trash. Then you play it in draft, and did you see the picture Ben linked where he had 3 copies in play?
Yeah.
And you're just sitting behind a bunch of dumb afterlife creatures, and you just don't do anything. And worse, normally I'd be like, you like draw us late, it's so bad. Well, I mean, it's just late game. I'm talking late game. You got 10 mana.
Yeah, it's just a tap out.
Just a tap out, deal 4. No, it's still bad. It's still bad. But yeah, in the Orzhov decks, like you can buy enough time. And one of the things Cam noted was a lot of times the Orzhov decks can only do 10 damage
Yeah.
in attacking before they get brick walled.
Yeah.
And they have to chip in, and they don't win that race without Ill-Gotten Inheritance. And it just sort of locks up the win. You know what I mean? It's like you lock the win up like 6 turns before the game ends, and you're like, all right, I'm in the clear. Like they can't win. I've just got to get them to 5 essentially now, because I'll just untap, drain it for 1, then pop it.
Yeah. And it's nice too because being a black and being a single black, like Rakdos could also play it if they needed. And you could play Rakdos spectable cards in your Orzhov decks, and it's very easy. They're very easy to enable.
Right. It's an enabler for the archetype.
It's nice for that too.
And there's just straight up black spectacle cards in Orzhov.
Yeah.
Like the return 2 creatures with Afterlife.
That card's just great in every deck.
That card's insane. Yeah. Normally, it's our, return 2 creatures is great. But again,
Dread Revel.
Yeah. Again, in Orzhov, it's like, well, I'm getting 4 creatures out of this essentially because I'm bringing back some Afterlife guys. And this Ill-Gotten Inheritance is just going to kill them while I'm just chumping forever. So, big game.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Ill-Gotten Inheritance, a card that I was shocked how good it was. It was one of the seals I played. It was I had a really insane Jund deck, and I just smashed everyone. But that deck was one of the decks I lost to. He just double Ill-Gotten Inheritance me and just sat there chumping forever. And I just died. Like, he just never had to attack me. I just died.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me in the first match, my second pre-release when I was playing like the Esper deck. My opponent he played actually another card in our list. He plays a Resolute Watchdog on turn 1. And I was like, okay, that card doesn't do anything. Turns out it does a lot.
Yep.
It does a hell of a lot.
I mean, it's 1 mana, right? A 1 mana 1/3 is just like
That's Goblin Guide rates.
not great, but I mean, same amount of stats.
Yeah.
Not great, but I mean, if you're looking to go long and play D, which Orzhov decks are, and we laughed about it in the pre-show that the same thing happened to me that happened to you, which was they had a Death Touch guy, and then you're like, oh,
Great.
I can't.
Can never attack again.
Now this Resolute Watchdog makes it so all like anything with less than 3 power doesn't do anything, and then now also my big guys don't do anything because there are a billion cards with Death Touch in this set. Not a billion, but there's a lot.
There's enough, yeah.
There's enough that they're going to have one, and this dumb doggo is going to protect them, just barking at people who come close.
Yeah. I was really surprised at how annoying that card was to get around.
Yeah, just an onboard trick that stalls out the game. And again,
even without Death Touch too, just like my flyers couldn't get through their flyers.
Yep.
Like they're no longer trading, and I'm not going to you can't just suicide your flyers in anymore.
Yeah.
And Yeah, very annoying.
Yeah, very, very annoying.
Yeah.
And again, exactly what Orzhov wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it can just buy time, gum up the board, make it so that the big green idiots can't get through smashing them.
Yeah.
So big deal in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And sticking with Orzhov, Ministrant of Obligation, the 3-mana 2/1 Afterlife 2. Turns out when your afterlife is for more than one, it's really, really good.
Yeah. For 3 mana to have a 2/1 that either can trade with something early because it's only 3 mana, or just serve. Just constantly serve. And eventually they block it and you just get 2 spirits.
Mm-hmm.
I think I posted that deck where I had Vanifar though. I was playing like a Bant deck, splashing red.
Yeah.
Well, I was 5 color, let's be honest here. And I had double Ministrant of Obligation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And sacking that thing in limited to your Vanifar to go get a bunch of airings was so sweet. So many opponents, I just sack like the Ministrant and they would just concede like, wait, he gets 2 spirits for this and a 4-drop, and oh yeah.
A lot of the early creatures out of Gruul and Simic are X2s until they put more mana into them.
Yeah.
So it discourages that unless they want to invest mana, but then you still have flyers. And like in Orzhov especially, if you are there's Pitiless Pontiff that sacks things.
Yeah.
Like it's just such good sack fodder for Final Payment, Pitiless Pontiff, the Ogre Warrior, Undercity Scavenger.
Yeah. That card's that card with the Ministrant is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Orzhov, you really nailed it in the sense that Orzhov has like the uncommons that you need to pick that make the deck sort of synergize in the way it needs to win.
Yes.
But you can't do it with just a few of the uncommons. It needs a heap of them.
Mm-hmm.
But when it gets them, look out.
Yeah, and like I didn't have any experience with this card, but you mentioned it was Night of the Last Breath card, the 7-mana Orzhov.
Oh yeah, like normally
Afterlife 3.
I'd be like that card's just unplayable. Like
Well,
a
that looks
7-mana
like a chess piece.
4/4 is just not reasonable. In draft, I'm still a little hesitant, but again, Orzhov wants to just gum up the board and sit there.
Yeah, and in Sealed, you were impressed.
But in Sealed, like a guy played it, and I was playing just I had like an Airings or whatever, and I was like, crap. Oh my god, if that thing has Afterlife 3, that's so many. Yeah, and I just lost the spirits in the air. Just Afterlife 3 is so much. Yeah, and a 4/4 body's still fine. Yeah, I was shocked. Like I thought it would be unplayable, but in Sealed it was pretty strong because the Sealed format felt pretty slow to me. I don't know if you guys had the same experience, but
Yeah, a lot of tap lands into 3-drops.
yeah.
Well, my first event, I didn't find it that slow because all my dudes had aced.
Well, yeah,
But-
you're playing Rhythm a while, but
After that, I played a bunch of events on Arena, and
yeah, Sealed felt slow.
Mhm.
So I was surprised. Are there any other sort of like Orzhov cards where? Yeah, I think we covered, and Azorius cards. We kind of covered those. So
yeah. Moving on to the big boys.
the thick fellas.
Yeah.
A couple of meaty boys.
It's, Rampaging Rendhorn and even Wrecking Beast. Just a 5-mana 4/4 Riot and a 7-mana 6/6 Riot with trample.
Wrecking Beast, good common. Rendhorn, honorary uncommon.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
There's something so powerful. Again, also of note, single green, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, for Rendhorn,
For
yeah.
Rendhorn, single green.
Yeah.
There's something so powerful in a common to be just either a 5-mana 5/5, which is
Huge.
playable card. It's fine, not busto, but big.
Good to big, depending on the format. Yeah.
Yeah, depending on it's good in this format. To just being able to have haste, like a 5-mana 4/4 haste is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Just that versatility and that option. I was so impressed with how. Normally, what was the card? Colossopede in Devastation.
Yeah.
That card was actually pretty good, but not great. But it was like pretty it was pretty powerful. This just feels like an upgrade to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed with Rendhorn. And again, in Sealed, Wrecking Beast is just going to smash people
Yeah.
back to Bolivian.
I honestly thought Wrecking Beast was just
It's Mike Tyson reference.
Oh, okay.
Because he always mispronounces things.
Bolivian.
Because when he lost, he's like, well, I guess I'll just fade into Bolivian. You ever seen those? Anyways.
Sounds like the Ricky-isms from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah. It's a Mike Tyson one. Yeah.
no, I thought Wrecking Beast was just too expensive, but it's not. Even in draft,
Yeah, no.
it killed my opponent every time I cast one. Just
Yeah,
immediately.
are you saying that
Yeah.
your 6/6 Haste Trampler is pretty good?
Yeah.
You know it's pretty good
Who would've
against all
thought?
those dumb afterlife creatures. Yeah, nice
Yeah,
token.
trample.
Yeah.
Yeah, take 5.
Yeah, really, really good.
Yeah. I'm a big fan in Sealed. In draft, it's definitely, again, it's different. But in sealed, I was a big fan so far of playing red, green, X. You know, usually I was always splashing a third color. But in sealed, I had a huge winning track record playing red, green, X.
Just so much easier to bring together.
Yeah, just easy mode. You just smash. You just play, you know, the airing switch is a just unbelievable card.
And you're probably going to get 2 or 3 of them.
The 4-mana 3/3 Riot that you can pay 6 to give it +3/+0 has trample.
Yeah.
Card's really good. It's easy to get. You know, the 5-mana, the Rendhorn. Like you can just pull all these like big dumb beaters together.
Yeah.
And these are all commons.
Yeah.
Like, you know, these are all commons. They're just bigger than the cards we're talking about are all bigger than every card on our list. You know what I mean? These green creatures just, I love when green creatures are actually bigger than everything else because that's how it should be. And there are formats, and there are horrible formats where that's not the case. What was the Zendikar, the recent Zendikar set, right? The Eldrazi just made green unplayable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that set was horrible.
it was one of the worst limited formats of all time, and that's because green had no identity and it just ruined color identity. That's what happens that's what happens in colorless, and like when they screw up the color pie. And it feels like in this set they nailed the color pie, right?
Yeah, definitely.
They nailed it. It feels really, things feel right. You know what I mean? That's such a weird thing to say from a game design perspective, but they just feel like they fit. You know what I mean? The flavor feels like it fits. How the cards interact feel like they fit. They sort of pair well. So anyway, the
guilds play really well together.
Yeah, the guilds play well together, which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of playing well together, I don't know if any of you guys had some ride creatures in your deck when you had a Skatewing Spy as well. But let me tell you.
Man, that's a card. That's actually a mythic uncommon.
Yeah.
So yeah, Skatewing Spy is the 2/3 with adapt that all creatures you have with +1/+1 counters on them have flying.
Yeah.
That
For 4 mana.
for 4 mana. 4 mana 2/3 with adapt 3, right?
No, it's adapt 6.
Oh, sorry, adapt
It's
6.
adapt a lot. But
Yeah, it's adapt a lot. My bad.
Like its adapt cost is 6, but it's adapt 2. Like it puts 2 counters on itself. I'm pretty
Right.
sure.
Yeah. My bad.
Let me just double.
That thing has a lot of text. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll check it. But yeah, anyway, go on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just, you know, it's pretty easy to have everything in your deck have +1/+1 counters in it, basically.
Yeah, in the early game when you're just building board, like it's usually wrong to pick haste unless you're, you know, your opponent's low and you're trying to pressure them. So you guys just have counters from pulling them out as you curve out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you play this and they're all unblockable.
Yeah, I got absolutely smashed by someone online who was playing Teamer Rhythm of the Wild with Skatewing Spy.
All haste flyer.
Yeah.
If they they can just have haste fly. Like if they have adapt or riot or whatever. Like if they have riot, they can just haste put a counter on them. They're flying.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I died.
Yeah.
It was a combo.
Yeah, Skatewing Spy is excellent.
Yeah.
Card's very good. It makes things feel very unfair. It's one of those cards in limited that just feels unbeatable. You're like, if I don't kill this thing, I'm just nothing. I don't get to play.
Absolutely.
They're gonna mangle me. So
yeah. And then, you know, other kind of solid common and uncommon adapt cards. Skittering Eel, 4 mana 3/3, 3 mana to adapt 2.
I never thought I'd be pumped about a Hill Giant with Monstrosity, but
dude, it's nuts.
Here we are.
Good.
It's nuts.
Good for the same reason Undercity Scavenger is good. It's just a way to make a 5/5 acceptable rate.
Yeah, and you got to trade with those Rendhorns, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's sure you're down a couple mana doing it, but in blue, you know, like that's a card that in blue you don't get to just have a lot of 1 blue 5/5s. You know, like they cost 1 blue and they become a 5/5. That's not really common for blue, and so I understand, but it's because it pairs with Simic, it pairs has synergy with it, so it makes sense as well. Card is really good. All the Monstrosity.
Yeah, pretty much
adapt.
Most adapt cards were Trollbred Guardian, the 5 mana 5/5, 3 mana to adapt 2. Gives all your creatures with counters trample.
That card's nuts.
Mm-hmm. That card's so big.
Basically a rare.
Yeah.
Like a 5 mana 5/5 is already fine, like we talked about it. But the fact that 3 mana more puts it at a 7/7 and you can pay that mana later, that's something that's so important for people to understand who are sort of newer to Magic, that, you know, an 8 mana 7/7 isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You wouldn't play that.
No.
Just an 8 mana 7/7, there's no way you'd play that, right?
No.
Even if it gave all your creatures trample.
No.
Because it's a turn 8 7/7.
Right.
This is a turn 6 7/7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you could still play another 3-drop.
Yes.
During that time. And it doesn't require you to draw another land to adapt it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's sort of when you get to spend the mana is so important, and the timing on the mana that's being spent is what makes these cards so powerful for people who are sort of wondering why these cards matter so much more than sort of an 8 mana 7/7. It's like, well, being having the flexibility and options to, pay it when you want is really, really important.
And yeah, like adapt, it makes combat so awkward sometimes.
Yeah, you get to attack with 2 adapt creatures and just you just pump whichever one they block.
Yeah. No, it's really strong.
And even a card like Sorrowform
Sorrowform Hybrid.
Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Sorrowform
Hybrid.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys can say it from now on.
It's got you with the tongue
Yeah,
twister.
2 mana 2/2, 6 mana to adapt 4. Card's so good.
You could cast.
Yeah, the card wasn't on our list because it was as good as we expected.
You could just cast and adapt a lot of Sorrowform hybrids with your circuitous routes. If you want a mouthful of a deck.
If you want to try and kill, ooh, that is a tongue twister. But what else do we have on here? Because that card was like obviously like, we
Applied
mentioned
Biomancy. How many times did you get blown out by that card?
No, I didn't because
that card's a big slice of the color pie.
Yeah. But I did have a draft deck with 4 of them recently. Cam described it to me as the River Herald's boon of the format, where someone played it and you just got ranched.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I got like pretty good blocks here. This is the River Herald's boon. You just get smashed. Like just distribute 2 counters on Merfolks.
Yeah.
Which in the Ixalan format was insane. This feels similar, but to me was better. Like I got, Law's Mage Binding, and then they attacked into my, I had a 2/3 and they had a 3/3, and they Azor, whatever, Law Mage Binding to my guy.
You just pick your guy up, eat theirs. Like.
I ate, made my guy a 3/4, ate their 3/3, picked up my guy and replayed it. And it was like, that was a pretty good common. How is Applied Biomancy a common? It's an unsummon and a combat trick for 2 mana in 1 spell. How is this real?
Even if you're only using half of it, it can still be nuts.
Yeah, it's just unsummon has always been like pretty good and limited.
Yeah.
But it's also a combat trick. It's just so obnoxious. I think it's got to be one of the best commons in the set.
It's real good.
And it's one of those cards like River Herald's Boon, where even once you realize that your Simic opponent has it, you don't really have good options usually in the early game because your creatures are about the same size. So you either don't block to play around it and take a bunch of damage, and they play out some other guy, and you can't really attack back. Now you're losing the race, or you do block and you get blown out, or you just have no recourse.
Yeah, Simic is very good in my experience. Simic Splash Red, or just
Yeah, I was very impressed with how Simic and Gruul played together, which kind of seemed obvious.
Yeah,
going into it, but yeah.
But Simic even on its own was really good for me.
It's definitely, I think, playing the format, I'd prefer to be in either Simic or Gruul all the time if I could choose.
Yeah.
I thought that would be my preference, but having drafted Rakdos and Orzhov, I'm also fine being there.
I'm fine being
if you draft
those
them,
as well. But I would first pick Simic for me, every time. If I can first pick a Simic card, I will.
Yeah.
Or I should say I would first pick a green card and then move into either Gruul or Simic. I like those options, but I'm also happy picking a good Rakdos rare or Orzhov rare, a good black. For me, the best 2 colors to start are green or black.
That makes sense.
But that's, it depends, obviously. But those are sort of what I'd prefer. But Applied Biomancy has got to be one of the best cards in the format, in the commons in the format. It's up there with Chillbringer in just its utility, pressure. You can kill people with Applied Biomancy, or you can blow them out on attacks. You can save a creature from something. You can, I don't know. Let's say you block with your Chillbringer, and you're gonna chump, but then you'll win combat on the other guy with the combat trick. You return your Chillbringer to your hand. There's just
so many possibilities.
It just does so much. And if the bots on draft on Arena don't take it, then you just get 4 of them, and you just walk through people. It's pretty good. There's another completely busted Simic card actually on our list, which I think is got to be one of the top tier uncommons.
It's just above rate in all ways.
The old Sharkdo Crab. Da-da, da-da,
It honestly probably shouldn't even be on the list because it's just like so absurdly nuts.
No,
Dude, but it's still nuttier than I
yeah,
thought.
these are our overperformers.
Yeah.
Because there are ways to put more counters on it
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
keep-
doesn't just adapt itself.
and keep tapping guys down. So for people who don't know, it's 4 mana, 4/4, 1 green, 1 blue, 2 colorless that has adapt for 4, right?
Yeah. Adapt 1.
Adapt 1 for 4. And when you put a +1/+1 counter on it, it taps a creature. That creature doesn't untap it. Its controller's next on tap step.
Yeah.
This is an uncommon that's
Yeah.
just a 4 mana 4/4, which is
Huge.
great.
Mm-hmm.
That it just becomes a 5/5 the next turn and taps down their best thing and then just starts serving.
The first deck I drafted on Arena in this format was Simic, and my opponent was at like 12 or 14 or something, and they had 3 creatures, and I had 3 creatures, and I'd like end step, just applied Biomancy, only unsummon mode, bounce one guy, untap, like adapt Sharkdo Crab, tap the other guy, and then the 1 green combat trick that put a counter on it, tap the other one, kill you. Like, this is nuts.
Yeah, the 1 green combat trick put a counter on something.
Stony Strength? Is
Stony
that it?
Strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can be absolutely insane in Simic decks. Just
It untaps
insane.
things.
Yeah, no, I
And
know.
it triggers all the counter stuff.
Yeah, no, that card is an overperformer. It can be just absurd in Simic decks. It's one of those synergy cards that's just so powerful when it pops off.
Mhm.
And it's like fine on its own. It's a fine combat trick because the counter sticks around. It's better than a combat
Mhm.
trick in some ways. But man, Sharkdo Crab is absurd.
Yeah.
It's like it's good. We knew it was good, and normally we wouldn't put the card like that on our list. But man, it's beyond that.
Love that card.
Yeah. Card just sweet. Art's also sick. It's just a hammerhead out there causing trouble. Just marking fools.
Speaking of counters, one card I didn't really think would be that good, but turned out to be very impressive. Biogenic Upgrade.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be
I thought it'd be
great
too
either.
expensive.
Yeah, agreed. Until they put it on a Sharkdo Crab and like
Yeah.
something else.
But yeah, it just synergizes with so much in the format. And it like doubling the counters actually, like if your guy already has counters, like it's huge.
Yeah, and you just have a board. If you just have a bunch of, dudes sitting around in a board stall because you just are staring at a couple of 5/5s on either side, like it's just a huge amount of stats. The thing is, it's a card that is probably not super great against like Orzhov decks because of the way they block and the way they want to play. But in the green mirrors, it's just like the mirror breaker.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah. I haven't had much experience with it in draft so far, but sealed, it was fantastic.
Yes. Yeah.
Is
oh,
it-
yeah.
Actually, that bad against Orzhov decks because
No, it's still good.
like they're trying to take 2 to 3 trample damage as their small death touch guy.
Yeah, it depends if you have trample.
Yeah, okay.
If you have trample, you're Gucci.
if you keep your like Arringtons around or like whatever,
Then you're good.
then you just pump those up and
But-
one shot them.
The card's still amazing,
Yeah.
especially because, they might not block correctly and
Mhm.
there's a bunch of reasons. But yeah, really impressed because it seemed like that's so much mana to invest in a combat trick. But again, sticks around,
Yeah.
doubles existing counters. Like,
It's the same rate as Stony Strength.
yeah.
1 mana per counter
Yeah.
or better. Sometimes you get a discount.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. And staying on theme with 6 mana cards. How many Flames of the Raise Boar as of you guys count?
Lots.
I've cast
Lots.
5.
Wow.
Yeah, I took it in draft every time I saw it.
Yeah.
I played it in sealed because the first time I played it was in a sealed, and I had John. I was playing a John deck because I was just basically playing Rakdos, and some other a couple other black cards because I had good mana, but I had that card and I had a bunch of Arringses and the 5 mana 4/4 Riot guy like Rendhorn, so I just wrathed my opponent like over and over again.
Yeah.
With that card, it just felt so unfair. Like you can set up blocks so that their biggest things all live with 2, and then you just wrath them. Like it's just Plague Wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is it an instant?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if it was a sorcery, it would be still really good. Like actually just probably what it should be as an uncommon. But as an instant, it's just obscene, right?
hmm
It's man, it's a toss of what the best uncommons are in this set because there are some insane ones.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's good that it's a toss up because like they trade off which one's better depending on the matchup, right? Like Flames of the Raise Boar, nuts if you're playing against Orzhov, or Azorius has a lot of X2 flyers. And then, it's not as good if you're trying to play against Simic. It'll pick like You'll hit one thing.
You'll have to do some work.
Or you have to do some work for it.
You'll have to attack and like block in certain ways.
And even the commons.
And also, you need to have ferocious. Like you need
yeah,
to have
and you need that
there.
as well. But yeah, like all the commons and uncommons like vary depending on which matchup they're playing, which is sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to wrap it up, we haven't really talked about many Rakdos cards, so we'll end it with 2 Rakdos cards. Acrobat and Light Up the Stage.
Yeah, I mean, Light Up the Stage been making waves in modern and standard.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been playing standard at all, it's all over the place.
I mean, 1 mana divination.
But in limited, you know.
Like, who would have thought 1 mana divination was a pretty good card?
I knew it'd be good, you know, in limited, but can you really understate how good 1 mana divination is?
I don't think I can.
Right, so it's on the list, even though it's obviously good and we knew it was good. Like, there's a few cards that were like, yeah, no, everyone knew they were good, but I don't think they realized how good, like the extreme level of how good it could.
I think Light Up the Stage was kind of underrated when it was first spoiled too.
Yeah, because no one
read it right.
It was
until your next turn.
End of your next turn.
Yeah, everyone just read it wrong for sure. Guaranteed. I guarantee everyone read it as until end of turn.
Yeah, that's how I read it.
Like as the Chandra effect, right? Mm-hmm. The Chandra 0 Planeswalker effect.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
No.
Turns out it's so much better.
Because reading is impossible, so I don't fault anybody for that.
Yeah. You all get a pass.
Everybody, yeah. Reading just actually impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that card's really good. And obviously, Acrobat, Cam pointed out, is like just as a common, like it does a lot as a common. You know, like
is it a common?
Or sorry, as an uncommon, as a 2/3. Like it's an uncommon. Still, it does a lot. They don't have any good options, was anyway why we talked about why the card was good. Yeah. That, you know, they either take 4 or they lose.
Or it trades up.
Yeah, or it trades up. Because there aren't a lot of just 3/3s sitting around that cost 3. There's not like 3 3s for 3.
Mm.
So this thing's trading up.
The only thing I can think about is the Gruul common.
Yeah.
The one that can't be blocked by creature tokens.
Yeah.
Something, I can't remember its name.
But a lot of, so they have to have that basically, or this thing's trading up on mana.
Yeah.
Or they take 4.
And like to go back, something we haven't mentioned in a while, Acrobat just pivots well, which you'd expect of an Acrobat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't.
But you just leave it back on D, holding up Death Touch if you need to, or it starts attacking for 4.
Yeah. Oh man, I just saw a card on the screen. That card sucks. Gyre Engineer.
Gyre Engineer.
It's so bad.
It's a bit slow.
It's so slow. It's so bad, man. You can't pay that mana for a 1/1. Paying 3 mana. Ugh. Anyway. Yeah. There's some other pretty good Rakdos cards.
Yeah,
actually.
one other
like
Rakdos
the artist, the Fireblade artist is pretty good.
Yeah, the 2/2 with
but that
haste,
one's obviously good.
What's that? What's the name of the common I was talking about earlier? The 3 mana 3/2.
Oh, Rakdos Rustabout.
Yeah.
Rustabout, the one that enables spectacle no matter what. That's why it's good, right?
That's why this card's good. Like 3 mana 3/2 is a fine rate. It'll trade with most things in the early turns, but it's spectacle on demand. If they don't block, they take 3. If they do block, they take 1. And so just for enabling spectacle and trading in the early game, let's Rakdos be efficient.
Yeah, for sure.
And pull ahead.
Yeah.
Because their creatures suck.
Lets you pay your sweet follow-up Rogue Refiner, a.k.a. Blade Juggler.
Mm-hmm.
As Alex pointed out. This card's just Rogue Refiner.
Yeah, it's just Rogue Refiner. It is. It just is.
Card nuts.
3 mana 3/2 draw card.
But
that's great.
As far as the cards that I was pretty impressed with. I think that you know, the rest are pretty obviously good, right? Like we didn't mention a lot of the really good obvious uncommons, like the guild-themed uncommons, right? Like Basilica Bellhaunt, the Sphinx of New Prada, like those cards are obviously very good. So we didn't get around to really mentioning them, but these were cards that just sort of overperformed, and you can look to really sort of at one of the themes, I guess, in our conversation was you can look to really splash a lot of these, and also we kind of talked about ones that play towards an archetype's game plan, right? Like cards that within their archetype and within the correct game plan really shine, but you need to sort of understand how they're working in context, right? Again, like Ill-Gotten Inheritance is like a card that we all would look at in spoilers. Like none of us sat there and were like, well, this card's gonna be like really like powerful part of the archetype.
I dismissed it immediately.
Yeah, of course.
This card's not playable.
Yeah, of course. I'm like, this is unplayable garbage. Mm-hmm. And then I just got smashed by it.
Yeah.
Because of what Hours Off wants to do. So, and again, this is why like we're always very hesitant about spoilers and guessing for limited, and we never do it. We never, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We never talk about cards of this will be good in limited, unless obviously like some busted Spawn of Mayhem's just nuts in limited. Certain cards like that we don't bother. So I like waiting because it's so important to understand context and limited and why these cards overperform. So yeah,
a couple weeks from now as like an episode idea, once we've have even more reps of drafting the format, like we've kind of gone over card evaluation now, and I don't think that'll change that much, but it would be interesting to do in a bit once we have more experience, sort of like a priority list when you're drafting each guild.
Yeah,
like even like already I can kind of see that like the Orzhov decks need to prioritize uncommons that can trade with green creatures. But then this means in tandem that if you're drafting Gruul, you need to like, you're going to get big creatures. But what's going to make and break a competitive Gruul deck is like, how many Scorch Marks do you have to get the Death Touch guys out of the way?
Right, or a Dagger Caster in your Gruul deck.
Yeah, that too. Like it's not going to be just like, oh, I'm playing Gruul, take 5/5s. It's going to be like making the smart, like, oh, I know I'm going to lose to these good Orzhov decks unless I like
take Scorchmark. Yeah,
but
Scorchmark is phenomenal.
Yeah, but you also need to make sure that like you can compete with big Simic decks late. So like, yeah, in a couple weeks we'll have like a list of the things that each guild needs to focus on because of their like weakest guild matchups or etc.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Talking about sort of, because you can go online and read something like Frank Carson's pick order.
Yeah,
and it's like, those don't matter. You know what I mean? This is for pack 1, pick 1. A pack 1, pick 1 pick order is literally just for that.
Yeah.
Because from there, once you sort of know how the guild has to operate as a contextual, game plan, then it just changes actually everything. Because again, we're sitting here looking at like, well, look, this 3-mana 3/2, when they block and hits them for 1, turns on Spectacle, which then enables like so much of the Rakdos deck to snowball. And like they are the one guild in the format that can snowball.
Right.
And so
it's fine having one of those.
Yeah, of course.
And there's counterplay to that snowball as well.
Yeah, but it can pop off, and this is how you do it. And so, yeah, we should definitely spend some time. Once we get more reps, and other people, listeners, are more familiar because this sort of list is more like, hey, if you're just starting because the set just comes out this weekend, here's how you should be sort of looking.
Wasn't Benoit berating us about this for the last few limited sets that we like? Because in Ixalan and Rivals of Ixalan or whatever, we had gone over like do this in draft. They were simpler sets, but we gave like a kind of an overview of like here's how you draft this set. I remember we talked about like there's weak cards in Ixalan, so you need to pick a tribe and start forcing early.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
And then Benoit crushed us with it.
Yeah, he at the one of the Tower Open like 2.5Ks, I played him playing for top 8 in the draft portion, and he absolutely rolled me. And he just thanked me after the match. And he goes, hey, I really appreciated what you guys talked about on the podcast. I had no idea what I was doing draft this format. I just forced exactly what you said to do. It was an Hour of Devastation, actually. It was during that set. And he said, I had no idea what to do, so I just forced exactly what you said. And he's like, yeah, and I threw out the draft, like beating me in the last round to knock me out of top 8 contention. I was like, you son of a bitch. Like, I was so mad. I was like, and I was mostly mad at myself because I managed to 2-1 losing to him in the last round, but or something like that. But I didn't listen to our own advice and got rolled by our own advice. Like I was just doing the generic like dumb draft deck, whatever, and it's good enough. I don't know why I like talked myself out of following the game plan. It was like, imagine in Kaladesh or whatever, I like didn't draft red blue aggro. You know what I mean? It's like, you idiot. Like, what were you know what I mean? Like, I talked myself out of our strategy advice and got crushed by my own advice. Just crushed. He smashed me 2-0 and it wasn't close. Like I just didn't do anything and died. But like
M19 we didn't really talk about it much.
Core Set Limited was something
and Guilds of Ravnica there wasn't much to talk about once it was figured out.
And it was figured out very fast.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to like get a bit more like of this figured out and do that again.
Yeah, I actually love those episodes. Looking back, those are some of the fun episodes. And I think, with Arena and people grinding out value, and trying to grind out new cards and everything, it's a really useful tool. Shout outs to my friend Manny Devuti too, by the way, who just got #1 rank Mythic.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I saw posted on Facebook that he was...
That's sweet.
Yeah, playing Jeskai Control.
Sweet.
Yeah, #1 rank Mythic. Good dude. Used to see him at events all the time. He's a grinder. He used to fly to like GPs like crazy. He won Vegas last year, the Modern.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Good dude.
Wow.
Really good dude.
So, before we wrap this episode up, we have to touch on 5-color because what the people want to know.
Oh, the Gates deck.
The Gates deck.
How does one pile?
Because let me tell you, it is much more doable in this set than it was in guilds.
It's been a minute since we got the 5-color pile, baby, but we can do it.
I mean, you could do it in guilds. It just wasn't good.
Yeah, you just lost Healer Hawk.
Yeah, but you can do it now, and it's good. It's real good.
Oh man, some of the Gates Matter cards are so good.
Yeah.
Like I think you want to be blue-green base.
Yeah, you want to be able to cast Growth Spiral on turn 2.
And you will always get copies.
Yeah.
It's not just that. It's also that you want
Gateway Sneak is good. Gatebreaker Ram is good.
That's why. You want Gateway Sneak and Gatebreaker Ram. Those are like tier 1 gate cards.
And then what's the
Colossus.
Open the Gates or the 1 mana Find a Gate?
Open the Gate is good.
Yeah, that card's insane. The search for any gate for 1 mana.
Yeah. I think you should also be Teamer because, like, if you're going Gates, you should be taking Gates Ablaze and just wrathing people.
Yes, Gates Ablaze for sure.
If you're taking Gates, we're playing 5 colors. Colors are not.
I just mean
Right,
base,
base.
base green, blue, or green, red. Like because you always have a 2-color base and 5-color. So as a reminder, we had a whole. For anyone interested, I wish we could remember the episode name. But we had a whole episode where we talked about how to draft 5-color pile.
Yeah.
So if you can find that, it's something. It's like you could find it by title. I'm quite certain. Maybe not actually. I can't remember. But we had a whole series essentially on how to draft 5-color pile. And we went into a lot of the details and how you sort of balance your mana, that you sort of build it around base 2, majorly splashing a 3rd, and then the 4th and 5th are 1 or 2 ofs.
I think we talked about how it shifts like pick order priorities too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot.
Yeah. So it's a really in-depth look at how to draft and play and build 5-color, both in draft and sealed. We went over both separately. And we discussed each separately. So if you're looking for sort of advice on that, because this is definitely a reasonable strategy in the set, playing 5-color.
What's another?
I've done it twice in sealed and won out both times.
Sage Row, whatever, in this set, the 2 mana, 2/1 Scry 2.
Yeah, that's why I say green blue. That's a big reason.
Better in 5-color because it brings your colors together.
Yep. Yeah, we talked a lot about keeping speculative hands. But yeah, Sage Row, that's why I say green blue. You want Growth Spiral because of gates, but you also want Sage Row, you also want Gatebreaker Ram early, you want Gateway Sneak. Like the base things you want, I think, are green blue. And also that gives you sort of powerful options for uncommons. And yeah. But this set is definitely viable for the old pile arena.
All right.
That Gateway Colossus, though, it's just so big.
That thing is insane in 5-color.
It's
in 5-color, it's unreal.
the only reason I won a game against Ethereal Absolution at a pre-release.
Man, that card can
Because
kick rocks.
the spirits were 2/2s and they still couldn't block a 7/7.
That card can
It's so
legit
funny
kick rocks.
that
I hate that card so much.
The
because
Orzhov rare completely just
Ranches
crushes the
Orzhov.
Orzhov deck.
Well, yeah, because Kaya, overthrew Tysa and now she's
Yeah.
like waiting,
I told you guys this story, like topical and like Kaya messing up Orzhov. My opponent played Ethereal Absolution, but I was able to race it because they couldn't make spirits, because it making spirits requires them to exile creatures from my graveyard. But they had played their own Kaya earlier
Man, that card stinks.
and exiled my creatures. So there were none left in my graveyard for them to make spirits. So their Kaya beat their Ethereal Absolution, so I could win.
Oof. Man, Kaya is so bad in limited.
Yes, don't play Kaya.
It does actually nothing. It's so bad.
I'd argue it's pretty bad in most formats.
Yeah, I lost to it in standard.
Yikes.
Yeah. I was playing Bug and they were playing Control.
Yeah.
And I lost, and I think the Bug deck is actually busted right now. I think I got kind of unlucky, but I had 2 Find Finalities in hand that I could never cast and 2 Memorial to Follies in play that I could never use because they just kept Kaying my guys and Kaya's wrathing me and Kaying me, and it was very annoying. And then they played a Dawn of Hope, which is a Wombo combo.
Ooh, exile some guys, draw a card.
Yeah, it was really obnoxious. It was a Wombo combo. It was like just a dumb like enchantment. And they had Exelon's binding me. Like it was very meta to like beat. You know what I mean? Like Bug mid range deck. Like, and it was just like it was like jujitsu. They just slowly choked me out while I just like, so much hate. Like, but I'm saying in standard it can do something. There are graveyard synergies. It can do something. I'm saying in limited, it does nothing. Like, actually, this is trash. I mean, it's terrible in standard too. Don't get me wrong, but it does something.
I mean, we were just talking about how good Resolute Watchdog is.
Yeah, there you go, Kaya.
Kaya it away.
Yeah, you got to get rid of it. Kaya, do the meta. They just sack and make it. No, that's the meta, man. That's the new meta. But
all right.
If you want to order some things for this weekend to get your standard collection ready, Where can you do that though?
Wizardtower.com.
It's also release weekend,
Yeah,
right?
it's also release weekend. They have events.
It's like on-demand drafts.
Yeah,
and sealed
on-demand
events.
drafts and sealed. So if you want to come out, hang out, slang some spells, be sure to visit the store in person or go to wizardtower.com. They have free shipping on singles in Canada. Great store, great people, great sponsors of this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're great. Love them lots. So
We have a blowout this week.
yeah, submitted by yours truly.
Yeah.
I did this guy dirty.
Let him have it.
Normally we wouldn't take our own, but I just thought this one was hilarious. So I was goofing around with a gate ramp Zakama, just it's dumb. I was just having fun.
Gates, Zakama, sign me up.
Yeah. Circuitous route, the normal things you would expect. And I was playing against just like a red-green Dinos deck. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird matchup. And, it's fine. He has real cards. Like he's playing Carnage Tyrants and Regisaur Alpha, typical Drover the Mighty, what you'd expect. Vivian Reed.
Yeah.
And so I had kind of wrathed and done a bunch of stuff, but he had a Vivian Reed in play, and I'd ramped and wrathed, and he had a Vivian Reed on 8. I had no board, no nothing. And he had a treasure map as well, which with 1 scry attempt on it. And he played a Regisaur Alpha that he got off the Vivian Reed, who's now at 8 and gonna ultimate and kill me for sure. And he plays Regisaur Alpha and attacks me for 3 with the 3/3 haste dinosaur. And my hand is my board is 11 mana and I have an entrancing melody in play. Maybe 12 mana.
Entrancing melody in hand.
And I have entrancing melody in hand, which does nothing. I'm gonna just die to Vivian, basically. But I top deck Zakama. So I'm able to play Zakama, which untaps all my lands. Entrancing Melody, his Regisaur Alpha, which gives all dinosaurs you control haste. So that I can attack his Vivian with my Zakama, kill his Vivian, then use the mana left over to shoot his 3/3, then use the other 3 mana left over to kill his treasure map. It was the best Zakama top deck possible. I went from I am so screwed to because I have no ways. I had nothing made to kill planeswalkers in my deck. Like actually nothing. If he just had not played the Regisaur Alpha, I actually couldn't have won.
Yeah.
But him playing the Regisaur Alpha won me the game because I drew Zakama. That is
That's so good.
dude. It felt so good. He just slammed nice over and over and then conceded. But for his turn, he wasn't dead yet. But obviously he was dead because of what just happened.
Yeah, there's a comma.
And he's a red green deck. He can
never deal with that.
Can never kill it. He's just spamming nice for 5 minutes as he's timing out because he's clearly so mad about it. I would be, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was a ruthless entrancing melody. One of the biggest blowed entrancing melodies I've seen in a while on a random opponents. Because I'm playing a goofy deck, and
Yeah.
got him good. The 1-2 punch. So I expect my foils to come in the mail.
Yeah. Coming your way. All right. Thank you all for joining the club this week. Make sure, as always, you check out wizardtower.com for all your Magic single needs. Get in your Ravnica Allegiance singles while they're hot. If you want to support the podcast, you can find us on patreon.com/DWC Podcast. All patrons get access to the DWC Discord. We also have special tier goals. You can get our new sweet custom DWC tokens, which are getting mailed out ASAP.
Yeah, we'll mail them out either this weekend or Monday. So
yeah. And you also get access to our pre-show, which we record, every week before we record the episode, just us talking
shop.
Shit. Yeah.
It's
pre-show is actually pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a cool feature.
even more disorganized.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun little bit, anywhere from, 20 to 50 minutes, just extra content if you're into that kind of thing. You can also find us on Facebook, the Disorganized Wizard Club Podcast, or on Twitter at DWC Podcast 1. And thanks for listening. We'll catch you all next week.
Later.